Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, Mindset Monday with Agent Power Huddle, and welcome and happy 2026. Since I was not on here last week, I get to say that today on January 12th. Here we are launching 2026. Good grief, where the time is going. But listen, I've got some, I think, great content today. I hope you all really enjoy it for your Mindset Monday. And I think it's a really good topic to launch our new year and just lay our foundation to have a fabulous 2026. And I'm going to start it with a quote. All right. And this quote is, with faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move mountains. With faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move mountains. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about moving mountains. It's time. It's your time to soar. So let's move those mountains, get them out of the way, keep a great mindset. And I'm going to give you some tips today on what to do and how to do all of that. So, the world has many people that stand in your way if you let them. And sometimes, though, that person is you standing in your own way. So we're going to dive into this today. At some point, you've got to begin to realize that you can be, anything you need to be and make your own dreams come true. And you have to do that within yourself. And that's one of these things. And one of the strengths of launching our Mondays off with a Mindset Monday of Agent Power Huddle. So get out of your way, stop sabotaging yourself. Even if sometimes we just do that. We sabotage, we don't realize we're doing it. But I want you to pay attention to patterns in your life, things that may come up. It might be roadblocks, or I'll call them mountains today, in your way, to get them out of the way so you can soar in 2026. Believe in your greatness. Just open up your life for that flow of abundance. It's your time, and you are ready to soar in 2026. So that being said, understand that what that means is taking risks. Taking risks may be exactly what you may need to do to get those results that you're looking for. Things don't always come easy to any of us. We really have to work at it. And sometimes it's getting ourselves out of those comfort zones. With faith as small as a mustard seed, we can move that mountain, and taking a risk, doing something maybe that is a little uncomfortable to you. And it's time to just do that and take accountability and get out of that cycle of getting into your own head. All right. So I'm going to give you some real proven tips today on how to do all this. And the first tip is, in order to get out of your own way, to move those mountains, you're going to need to start with something I like to call as a clean slate. Does that sound great? A clean slate for 2026. Here it is in January. You have a clean slate. Give yourself that permission. I'm going to give you the permission right now. Think of that, pulling that curtain back and say, okay, clean slate. I'm going to move that mountain. Faith of a mustard seed. I got that. It is time to soar. So stop beating yourself up. But this is what this means. Stop beating yourself up over anything from yesterday. Yesterday is done. You have that clean slate, that fresh start. It's January, and we're going to adopt this mindset. You're going to win or learn. There's no more win or lose. Okay. Get rid of that out of your vocabulary, out of your mindset. There's no more win or lose. It is simply win or learn. So by shifting your mindset into the win or learn, you're actually setting yourself up for a fantastic foundation. And that is your runway. That is your path to soar. Okay. So stop all those if I fail conversations. Okay. Stop them all. There is no if I fail. How about think about this? Change the way you think. And the things you look at change. I'm sure you've heard that, not just by me, but by many of us that lead on this Agent Power Huddle. Get those failing conversations out of your mind and say, oh my gosh, not what if I fail, but what if it works? What if what I've got planned, what if my dreams do come true? What will that do? Not just what will it do for you? What will it do for your family? What will it do for your children? What will it do for any other maybe agents or friends that maybe you mentor, or, that look to you for guidance, and you fuel them as well. So what will that look like? What an amazing shift in mindset right there. Look, 5 minutes into our Agent Power Huddle. I hope I already gave you something to grab onto right there. All right. So number one is that cleaning that slate. And here we are in January. Go for that. Number two, Create SMART goals. Okay, if you haven't heard this enough, I'm going to pound it in again for you. SMART goals, what the heck are those? We hear about goal setting. Hopefully you've done your business plan. Hopefully you've done your goals for 2026. But I want to encourage you to revisit them consistently. Revisit those. It could be monthly, it could be weekly, whatever it takes for you to keep the forefront of your mind. But a SMART goal, you need to understand, is not just setting any random goal. It's actually being specific. What specifically is it that you're looking to do? Be specific, be very clear, get that clarity. All right. Is it measurable? How do you measure that you're actually getting there? Or, what action steps you're taking that are going to get you to where you want to go? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is there somebody that that's already done it? That's a great way to go. We're going to get to that in a little bit about standing on the shoulder of giants. Is there other people that you've seen do this? In your heart of hearts, that the action steps you're taking are measurable and it's achievable. All right. Is it realistic? Well, is it realistic for you to do by yourself? Do you need a support team? Do you need a virtual assistant? Do you need, what is it going to take? What is it going to look like? I shared with Autumn before we started this Agent Power Huddle. I've got the surgery coming up, and it's okay. I'll be good, everybody. But she'll be better after the surgery. But surgery coming up, so I'm having to look in advance and say, okay, in order to reach my goals that I've set for myself, in order to achieve them, I've got to be realistic because I'm going to be limited for about 2 months. Limited physically. Okay, so when I'm limited physically, now what's going to happen? Is it realistic? Yeah, it's still realistic, but here's the thing. No one succeeds alone. So you have to realize that, okay, this is the time I've got to reach out and say, hey, my friends, my assistants, whoever I need to help me. And believe me, it's amazing your friends and people who show up for you. When you have these times, it's crazy. I've had so many people say, how can I support you through that time? How can I help you? You know what? I'm letting them. Oh, big word, especially for us high DI behavioral styles, when you have to ask for help, when we're so used to being in control. Is it realistic? What's going on in your life? Look, that's the thing about real estate. There's stuff going on all the time. We always have stuff going. So what's realistic for you when you're setting these goals? Go deep, guys. Go deep and ask yourself, okay, in this first quarter, is it realistic for me to be able to do this myself? Or am I going to need to lean on some leverage and get some help? All right. And then, of course, the T in SMART goals is timely. Set that timeline. Look, we can set goals and just put them out into the universe and, we may get there at some point, but when you set the time frame on them, how they become real, how you start solving and moving the mountains and getting the obstacles out of the way to make sure that you can reach those in that time. So those are your SMART goals. When, write them down, ink them, by the way. Okay, I say ink them. Yes, a lot of mine are on my computer, but I have inked them first. I get them real clear because I change things. I start diving deeper. And so when you're writing them out, that's where the real flow of ideas come out. That's where you can really find the blind spots. That's where you can start saying, okay, what is it really going to take me? And when you're starting to write them, you'd be surprised. And hopefully, a lot of you have experienced before when you're starting to write things down, how you start getting to the real issues that you might have. And that's how you can solve those problems. Or I could go on just on a whole topic only into that. So anyway, ink them, make sure that you get them really written down very clearly. In the positive mindset of growth, by the way, it really puts you in the leader, you leading your own way. And by the way, for our scenario today, it puts you in the pilot seat so that you are ready to it'll fuel you to soar. Okay. So get those SMART goals. SMART. Yeah, I've already given you what that is. I like using a method to do this. My method I use is with Tony Robbins. And if you listen to any of my other Agent Power Huddles, you know that I've used this for years. It's the RPM method. RPM stands for results, purpose, and massive action. So what result? After I've done my SMART goals, I put it into RPM. What result am I really going after? All right. And purpose. Why do I want to get there? When you anchor that purpose, to the result you're getting, you will consistently perform. You will show up to make sure that you actually take action. That's the next one, massive action. So what result do you want? Purpose. Why the heck do you want it? And then your massive action plan, which you've determined through your SMART goals, your massive action plan to make it happen. This is worth repeating. I repeat these things on different topics, whatever, because it's such a common thread. It's such a foundation. And I think it's really easy to skip over some of these things if you're just randomly going about it without a system in place. And so that's why I like to bring them to the forefront and talk about it. All right. Number 3, start breaking those habits, people. Break habits that are holding you back. How are you going to move those mountains with some bad habits? Our inner critic can cause us to start these bad habits. So that's why showing up all this time on these agent power huddles, listening into some podcasts or reading some books, these are the kind of things that are going to continue to help you soar and ascend, get out of the bad habits. Remember your morning routine, get into those morning routines. Remember the affirmations. These are all come together. It's like wrapping, your arms and giving yourself a nice hug and say, okay, get rid of those habits because it's time to make sure that I continue the good habits, the things that are going to strengthen my mindset, strengthen my skill set, strengthen my faith in myself. Remember, faith of a mustard seed. I can move mountains. For me, it's that faith in God, that faith in letting go. That's part of this topic. But you get what I'm saying about break free of those chains that are holding you back. Make sure that, understand that, hey, it's hard work too. By the way, this is not easy stuff. If you really, really do it on a consistent basis, it becomes easier because it's about building the habits and letting it becoming, part of the fiber of who you are, I like to say. But it is hard work and you need to be very consistent and practice. And when you do it on a regular basis and you start realizing the shifts and the change and the morph, of things changing in your life because you're doing these things, you're going, I'm going to do more of that. Like working out in the beginning, it's kind of hard, right? Walking. When I walk 5-7 miles in a day or whatever, it wasn't easy. It doesn't start out easy. It starts out kind of hard. And as I do, I'm like, feeling better. I'm feeling stronger. And the confidence builds. You start carrying yourself a little differently, right? So get those bad habits. Number 4, get those bad habits out of your way. Move them out. Number 4, identify your strengths. Yep, that's a really good tip. When you identify your strengths, I like to see people. I'm feeling there's a lot of people on here and I'm not seeing you all. So it indicates, hopefully you have your cameras on. So identifying your strengths is, excuse me 1 second. Yeah, it's okay, gallery. Okay, turn your cameras on. I'd love to see you. I know people are on this call. Identifying your strengths is about really, look, I'm not saying stick your head in the sand on the things that are your challenges, but when you identify what really works for you, what juices you every day and what you're good at, do more of that. That's really what it comes down to. Do more of that. All right. Because when you start doing more of that, it's like, you got that muscle, use it. You got that muscle that's going to power you through any of those obstacles, any of those mountains that you have. You need to know what is it within you that's going to take you over the top. Does that make sense? Identify those strengths and get in it, get with it and own it and be proud of it. Right. Then number 5, of course, has to follow up with acknowledging your, I'm going to call them your weaknesses. I call them your challenges. Look, none of us are masters at everything. Look, you might think you are, but trust me, none of us are. So what do? You start to realize, okay, that's not my strength. Although I know I need to understand it, I need to do it. I need to, once I know that let me back up this in a second. This one is important. They're all important. This is important in this respect. When I talk about acknowledging your challenges, a lot of people will just go and Okay, hire a TC. Let's just use this as a very, very foundational, simple one. They'll just hire a TC, for example. Oh, my strength is not paperwork. I'm just going to hire a TC, let them do it all. And for that, I'm as a broker, as a mentor, as I've coached, I've consulted, I have a real issue with it because here's the thing. You can eventually hire a TC. You're going to it's called leverage. You can leverage it out. But guess what? In order for you to be the best version of you, be the best agent, best broker, whatever, you need to first understand what are all those contracts? How does it work? You need to, nobody's going to out contract me. I can tell you that right now do I like doing all those things? Really, it's not my strength, but I will say it is because I've owned it and learned it. Then you can leverage it out. All right. So acknowledge your challenges and learn it, because how can you possibly hold somebody accountable if you don't know what you're holding them accountable to? And that started into like my social media, into my video and all that kind of stuff. Boy, did I go kicking and screaming on that kind of stuff. I'm going to edit it. I don't have time to want to learn how to edit a video and all that. But social media, Facebook advertising, social media advertising, I went kicking and screaming. I'm being very authentic with you. It's so easy nowadays to click the button, let somebody else do it for you. But how do you hold them accountable? If you really don't know what they're supposed to be doing, how on earth do you know if what they're doing is going to be working and right for you? Right? So understand your challenges, know how to navigate them, and then pull the leverage in to help get through them. All right. Number 6 is standing on the shoulder of giants. I touched on this earlier. It's about, look, people have succeeded before you. Don't start the wheel all over again. Find whatever you want to, whatever you're looking to do in 2026. Somebody's done it before. I'm sure they have. So seek those people out, seek those mentors out. Find out what are the steps that you need to do to really get there. And maybe they'll help you. You'd be shocked at how many people, you picked up a phone call and said, you know what, congratulations. I see you were really successful in this, in social media posting or in, listing presentations or whatever you think it is, on conversions and, if you're working on a database, whatever you feel you need, mindset. Okay. You find yourself shrinking. Get back to somebody who you could tap into and say, what does it take to build that mindset muscle? What does it take? Can you walk me through? Would you be interested in maybe sharing some of your ideas? Stand on the shoulder of that giant and I know I've been so incredibly grateful and surprised at how many people will say, I'm happy to share with you. I'm happy to do that. Most leaders are, by the way. If somebody's going to shield and not share with you, those aren't the people you want to be around anyway. And you'd be surprised that they're probably not at the top of their game in the first place. So, all right. Number 7, avoid perfectionism. This one my coach taught me is I really like things to be, hit it out of the park. I love hitting things out of the park. And sometimes you have to be perfectly imperfect because I call it on your mark, get set syndrome. People will get out and they'll say, go on your mark, get set. I'm not quite ready yet. I'm going to do it. I have plans to do that. I'm preparing myself. I'm getting myself ready. And that's good to an extent. But there is a time that you have to say, go. Perfectly imperfect. And guess what? It's at that point that you're going to grow and learn. Now, see how, remember, you're going to win or you're going to learn. And when you learn, if you've gone and you're not quite ready or something needs to shift, that's where we navigate. All right. That's where we shift, right? That's what's so common for all of us. We've done it so many times. And yet it can be scary if you're such a perfectionist that you want it perfect before you go. Caution right there. There's that red flag. All right. Get out of your way. Move that mountain. Perfectly imperfect. On your mark and set, go. No more on your mark and set. Mark, set, and lag. So, number 8, get out of your own way by your daily mindset, your power hour. I touched on this as well. All this kinds comes together. Your power hour means, having a regular time. Mine is in the morning where I get up and I actually, of course, I've got my affirmations or I'll read something new, something that's going to be inspiring to me. I got my day already planned out and what I'm going to be doing that day. But it's your power hour. It's your time to get your mind. It's a time to get your energy, your faith, whatever it be. But that is your time and it's valuable. Now, I encourage you. Now, I am not a 5 o'clock a.m. person, right? For years, people like, get up at 5 in the morning. I can do your workout. That's not me. 6 is good for me. Listen to your body. Okay. None of us are good if our energy is low. Energy is one of your key ingredients of your success is your energy. Keep that energy, getting enough sleep, but also knowing your body. And that's something it was hard for me to learn because I felt like for years, 5 a.m. I felt like if I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m., maybe I'm not going to be as successful as I should be. If I'm not up at 5 a.m., BS, everybody. I'm sorry. That's not what I believe. I believe you do you. All right. You do you. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and now I listen to my body. And I'm going to be honest, there are times I won't get up till 7. That's not as frequent, but I will say I learned to listen to my body. If I feel like I need that extra sleep, then I do take it. It may work a little bit longer. If I erase something, I replace it. So I'm still doing what needs to be done in that daily power hour. All right. And usually it starts around 6, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to kick my own, I make sure that I still get it done. May set back something else for the day, but it gets done. All right. Which is number 9, being accountable. See how they all come together. Being accountable is moving mountains. You're going to have to be accountable. You have to stop the excuses. You can have reasons or results. You can't have both. Okay. Reasons or results. You can't have both. So being accountable, and that means accountable to yourself. Okay. You can have an accountability partner and that really works. Having a coach, a mentor, somebody you report to, that works too. But, being accountable means holding to your commitment. That's integrity when you're doing what you say you're going to do. You do it and it's for yourself. It builds your own confidence when you are committed to your result. When you're committed to get up when nobody's watching you and you're still committed to doing the tasks that you set up on those SMART goals, right? And you did your RPM and you're now taking your action that you need to take. That's your commitment. All right. And that's being accountable to your word. And your word is everything. Okay. Your word is your integrity and it's your commitment to yourself. And I think I've hammered that one down enough. Hopefully there. All right. Number 10, you also need to establish rewards along the way. Sit on that for a second. Establish rewards along the way. As you're doing these things day in and day out, real estate, you can be around a lot of people and plug yourself into these groups and these masterminds, and it's wonderful, but it also can be very private and very personal. And, sometimes it can be very tedious, right? If you're doing a farm area, I've got a big farm area. I work a lot and it's, a lot of times it's me. It's not a bunch of people. And I have to find that energy and that within me to say, keep going, get out there over and over and over. And how do I do that? I reward myself. I reward myself with a massage. I might reward myself with something that, that feels good. That I'm like, this is great. I'm proud of myself. It's okay to say, oh my gosh, I achieved that. I'm really proud of myself. And for that, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to acknowledge it. And even though I'm a driver and keep going, that's something you want to do along the way is reward each milestone. And by the way, if you're a team leader and you say, well, I don't need to do that, Susan, come on. I'm just that person that wants to keep thriving. Trust me, I get that. Boy, do I get that. But when you have a team, it's going to be really important for you to stop for a moment and turn and say, great job to your team. Reward them. Make sure that they know that, you appreciate what they're doing to support that growth. Because guess what? team meets together, everyone achieves more. So you've got to make sure that when it comes down to establishing rewards along the way for yourself and for your entire team, it's massively important. All right. We're coming to the end of our Power Huddle. Number 11, it started out with that quote, with faith as small as a mustard seed, I can move mountains. For me, that's that, my faith in God, that for me, that is, there's so much I can control that I love to control. There's so much I've got planned. There's so much that I have on my agenda every single day. And at some point, you've got to have that faith within you, within spirituality, within God, whatever it is for you, that you've got that faith, that you're doing the right steps, you're surrounding yourself with all the right people, that you've got a plan in action that with faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move that mountain, and you will. So let go, and I say let go and let God, with that blind faith, knowing with 100% certainty that your results will show up. That's what you need. And I want to end the Agent Power Huddle today with saying, without faith that's small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. I can move mountains. So let's go do that. And let's launch our 2026 with that mindset. And God bless you all. And go make it a great, great week. And I'll look forward to seeing you again on the next Agent Power Huddle. I'm Susan Johnson and Associates. Thanks for joining us again today. Have a great week.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.